Just because you have the recipe doesn't mean you can make the cake just like Guy Fieri or whomever. You still have to actually put in the work. So a couple of things that I do personally and I think are pretty impactful.
You're listening to Titans of the Trades. I'm your host, Ryan Englin, author of Hire Better People Faster and creator of the CoreFit Hiring System, a proven process to help growing companies attract and retain only the best. I'm on a mission to revolutionize the perception of the trades and elevate it to new heights. After growing up in a blue-collar family, my passion for making the trades cool again runs deep. If you're a titan in the industry and want to be on my show, stick around until the end and I'll reveal how you can be my next guest. Welcome back to Titans of the Trades. I'm your host, Ryan Englin, and today's guest is working with emerging brands over at Premium Service Brands. This is a guy that is working with brand new franchise startups. These are companies that don't even have a huge market presence. And so a lot of what he deals with on a regular basis are the same things that we deal with as we're starting or looking to grow and expand our company. And I just think that his approach to the importance of getting your people involved, his approach to how we can solve some of these really basic things that we deal with over and over and over again as owners is just going to be invaluable. So I want to welcome to today's show, Andrew Olesnavich. He's the VP of Emerging Brands over at Premium Service Brands. Andrew, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate being here.
I'm excited for our conversation. I think we see eye to eye on a lot of things. You've got a background as a coach, consultant, as do I. So I think we're going to have really a lot of fun today. But before we jump in, tell us a little bit about Andrew.
Tell us a little bit about Andrew. All right. So, Ryan, if we're going to go back as far as we can, it was a really cold, wintry February morning in Lynchburg, Virginia, when Mike and Michelle Olesnavich welcomed a new baby boy to the world. No, I'm just kidding. That's where it all began. I'm Andrew Olesnavich. I'm the Vice President of Emerging Brands at Premium Service Brands. So I have the distinct honor and privilege of really helping 3 services reach breakout velocity. So I support KitchenWise, ClosetWise, RubbishWorks junk removal, and an add-on service, ancillary revenue service called Infinity Holiday Lights that any of our PSB properties can add on. Yeah, so I've been in franchising for coming up on 15 years. I think I started in about 2012 as a general manager and swim instructor for a swim school in Chicago. And then I actually had the opportunity to purchase that swim school franchise. So I got to see both sides of the coin. I've worked as a franchisee for about 6 years, and then as well over here on the franchisor side for coming up on 9.
Okay, awesome. You spent a lot of time at Two Men and Truck?
That's correct. That was my first foray into franchising, actually.
Yeah. So I think most everybody's heard of that brand and nothing but amazing things to say about it. I think it really sounds to me like franchising is just a world that just clicks for you. You love the franchising world. And I think there's so much that we can learn from the franchise world. So I read a book called The E-Myth, which I'm sure you heard of.
Okay.
Michael Gerber talks about the franchise model. And when I first read it, I'm like, I'm not McDonald's. Like, I get it if you're McDonald's. Everybody has to make the fries the same way. But I think he did a really good job of breaking down why so many entrepreneurs struggle with creating a model inside their business that's systemic so that people can just do it your way every time.
Yep.
And I think that's the one thing I love about franchising is that you give people the model. Like you say, here's the stuff. And they just got to go replicate and do it. So the things that they're maybe not the best at, franchising really allows them to do that. And me being a process guy and a systems guy, I love this. People can walk into a franchise and they don't have to worry about their brand. They don't have to worry about their messaging. They don't have to worry about the process, how we deliver, how we track, all the administrative stuff that most entrepreneurs don't enjoy. So as the VP of Emerging Brands, when you're looking at this, what are some of the things that you come alongside owners with, these franchise owners, and help them work through the mindset shift of operating inside of a system? Because I think so many people come from this world where they kind of just do it their own way. What are some of the big challenges that you have to deal with over there?
Absolutely. So a lot, actually. And it starts for me right out of the gate. Franchising, like you said, it should be cookie cutter to an extent. Now, that doesn't mean it's easy. It's still business ownership. It still has hardships, and you still have to go out there and execute. Just because you have the recipe doesn't mean you can make the cake just, what's his name, Guy Fieri or whomever,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You still have to actually put in the work. A couple of things that I do personally, and I think are pretty impactful, is you join them right out of the gate, holding hands side by side every step of their journey. So one of the things that I put together with all of our brands is a pre-launch and then 30, 60, 90 ramp up plan. So they know when they come in, what should I be doing this week, the next week, the following week? What other things do I need to have in place before I can take the next step? Everybody usually comes in so excited and they're really motivated. I'm going to make $1 million. I'm going to build great business that I can pass on to my kids. And then they get in and they go, oh my God, I thought that you guys were going to do that for me, or I thought that this was going to be easy, or why isn't my phone ringing more? And so having that guide is a really great accountability tool. It gives them the ability to know exactly, again, what they're doing and when, what they need to be doing, what they need to be looking out for. But then it also helps me as a coach make sure that they are, in fact, following the process. Because like you said, they sometimes come in and they want to do things their own way. And it's great. We'll even have that conversation during discovery calls. Like if you want to do things your own way, there are fantastic opportunities and resources out there to start your own business. If you want to join a franchise system, it comes with a little bit of give and take, things that you will have to do our way, and then some things that you are going to have to figure out a little bit on your own with some guidance and support, of course.
Yeah, like people, right?
Yeah,
Like
like
we were
people.
talking about that. People, I think a lot of people, especially in the franchise world, they leave corporate America where someone else handled all the people stuff.
Yes.
And then they come into a franchise and like, well, you're going to give me all the systems, all the processes. You're going to tell me who to hire, how to performance manage them, how to track them, how to have tough conversations. You're like, no, you got to figure some of that out on your own. But I think a lot of it too, like if I think about the E-Myth where he talks about the technician, the manager, the entrepreneur, I think a lot of owners come in, entrepreneurs come in, and we're not really entrepreneurs yet.
Yep.
We're not really thinking that big picture. I find, especially in the trades, a lot of business owners are the technician.
Yeah.
They were really good at their craft. And then they said, hey, I'm going to hire my brother and my cousin and his friends and his friends. And they wake up and they've got 14 trucks on the road. And they're like, what? I'm a business owner now. But they're not really an entrepreneur yet.
Yeah.
So when someone comes in, what are some of the big misconceptions that you have to shatter for them real early on? I mean, we talked about the systems and process, but I'm sure there's more to it than that. What are the things that you find people really, they're holding on to? They're white knuckling. They're like, no, I can resist. I can do it my way. What are some of those big challenges that are holding the entrepreneur back when they're working inside of a franchise model?
Some of the big things that hold them back. A lot of it is thinking that they know better. That is almost always the first. I have that conversation at least once with most franchisees that I've supported, even some veteran franchisees that already understand the value of the system and the brand and the network and the brain trust that comes with franchising, which is one of the most powerful aspects of joining a franchise system. And you might, but we've got history. We have years and years in a lot of cases at Two Men. I would love that. I'd get into conversations with brand new franchisees at Two Men. I'm like, I understand where you're coming from. We do have 40 years worth of history. We have tried that. Here were the results. It is a different time. Maybe, take some of these things into consideration if you want to try it, but also you might be able to expect these results. So I think that's number one, is thinking that they assume or whatever it is that think they know better. And again, sometimes they do, admittedly. Sometimes they have a great idea, hasn't been tried yet, awesome, or a different twist on an idea that failed. But again, you bought a franchise, so let's try it this way first. And when we run into hurdles there, then you already have a plan B in place and we can work through that. So I think that's a big one. Another one that we run into a lot of times is the marketing and the people. So I'll break those down separately. The marketing piece, a lot of people come in and they have a preconceived notion that the franchisor they're going to open their doors. And because it's a franchise system, brand awareness is already existing and it's fantastic. And as soon as I turn my website on, I'm just going to get all this traffic and all these leads. That's not reality. Yeah. Even with a proven, everybody knows the Two Men in a Truck. Again, just using that example as a really known brand. With my emerging brands, we have less brand awareness. So again, just kind of leaning on that experience there. Great, you know the trucks, but nobody in your community really does. They don't know you exist here. They've seen the trucks coming through, but you're the first one in this market. So that means you've got to do a lot of groundwork in order to establish your brand awareness, in order to then capitalize and see a better return on a lot of your ad spend. So that's another piece. And then the last one being people. People. You don't have a business without people. You
Not
really
the
don't,
trades.
especially in the trades. Especially that is your whole, you aren't selling a product, you are selling a service. And so without people, you have a tough time. And a lot of entrepreneurs come in and for whatever reason, they really lack the ability to engage their people adequately to get the best performance out of it. So often when they launch their new business, they come in and they get their first review and it's like a 3-star review. And they're like, Andrew, oh my God, like I thought we did, but we did great. We did everything we said we were going to do. And the customer said thanks and stuff. And the guy's got a tip, but they gave me a 3-star review. And so we have to have that discussion about, this isn't, this corporate America where that you came from. Like you are responsible for engaging them and making sure that they're doing everything that they can. And you can't be out there on every job. So I love using the analogy of, playing sports. You played sports. Did you play sports, Ryan, growing up?
I did not, but I use a lot of sports analogies myself.
Okay,
so
fair. So
lay it on me.
Kids, anybody sports?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. All right. So when you take them to practice, that first week of practice, after that, they just showed up to games, right? That's how sports work, right? First week, you go into practice, you work hard, and then after that, you just show up for the games, and that's it. And you're supposed to be great. And so many franchisees, and I'm sure business owners in the services outside of franchise networks, come in and they do a week of training with their team, and then they send them off into customers' homes. And then they wonder why they're getting bad reviews or they lack the engagement or they're having quick turnover with their staff. And it's because you haven't actually engaged. You haven't given them all the tools to be successful. You have not invested enough time and effort into setting them up for success. And so they become disengaged. Your product suffers and you have high turnover. The people aspect is one that really, I think, especially for new business owners, cannot be stressed enough.
Yeah. I think about someone broke down the analogy for me. If you look at NFL players, like how much time they spend in practice versus how much time they get to play.
Yes.
I always get a kick out of this too. I mean, yes, it's a 3 or 4 hour game, depending on how it plays out, but there's only 60 minutes of playtime.
Yep.
And you're splitting that between offense and defense. So you're really not playing a lot, but you are putting in days and weeks and years of practice to get that. And I do see that a lot is I think that one of the big challenges we have right now in this economy is that we believe as entrepreneurs that everybody thinks and acts like us. I get up and I practice every single day because I know the importance of practice. And I make the false assumption that everybody else gets up and practices because they know the importance of practice. But your plumber or your painter or your roofer, they don't think like you do because if they did, they wouldn't be working for you. They would be your competition.
Correct. That's exactly.
And I think we forget a lot of that. I love how you break that down into those 3 different areas. The one I think is just universal, transcends all entrepreneurship is the I know better. I know the industry. I know what works. I know what doesn't work, but what I'm doing isn't working, but I still know better.
Yeah. That's
Totally.
and that's the human condition. Like I don't fault anybody for thinking that. It is very organic and natural to think that. However, you do have to have the self-awareness to understand that you have a team of people here that might also have some knowledge that could benefit you. And maybe just taking a couple of those nuggets are going to be helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I know that you've talked about the importance of values, core values inside of an organization. Huge. And I like to say creating an environment where people feel like they can belong.
Yes.
Talk to me a little bit about that. Because I know you said that the company you were with previously, and I'm sure this one as well, had amazing value system. Yes. And talk to me, like, what's the importance of that in this whole thing? Since we've decided that we run a business built on people. So this is important. Talk to me a little bit about that.
So I'm actually going to share a quote. It was your 100th episode. Who was the guest that you had on that one? I can't remember the name.
The 100th episode was throwback to the prior.
That's right.
2 years. Yes.
All right, well, then I'm going to throw the quote at you because I'm sure you remember who it was. But it was, culture is either by design or by default.
That was Adam. Yes.
There it is. That one hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, holy bananas, is that true? without a clearly defined like systems and expectations culturally on how you behave, how you communicate, how you execute, how you train and prepare, your culture automatically is going to fill in the blanks. And then your business becomes that default, that your organization just filled into the gaps. And so I think that really honestly answers your question in a major way, because at a corporate level in franchising, we can do our best to emulate our core values in our interactions with our franchisees. If we have the opportunity to interact with frontline staff, absolutely. But in a lot of cases, we don't have that opportunity to penetrate through to the frontline teams, and a lot gets lost. And so it really is up to those individual business owners and managers to make sure that they are living out those values. And the reason it's so important in the services is because like your culture is your advantage. Everything else is commoditized. You got the same trucks, you got the same equipment, you offer the same services as anybody else. Oftentimes, you have the same people that your competitor used to have, right?
True.
Like it is all the same. Everything else is commoditized. So if you don't have something about your business that is unique, where are you going to, like, how do you set yourself apart? How do you stand out in the crowd? And really the biggest way to do that is with your culture. And if I could share an example, this actually happened this morning. I had a call with one of my franchisees, and he told me that last week, Thursday or Friday, his driver saw a little old lady shoveling snow. So he pulled over, he got out of the truck, and he finished the job for her. He took her shovel, he finished shoveling her driveway. Gave her a card, she thanked him profusely. The next day, her daughter called, thanked the owner, ended up booking a service. The following day, she called again to book a service for her uncle. Wow. And right there, that one act of kindness. And I promise you, anybody listening, anybody out there in the trades, if you have not empowered your people to see those opportunities to do something kind and really make a difference, something far outside of the scope of their job, like you're missing out. Your culture is something you should really start looking into that a little bit more, because that is where, again, you are going to separate yourself from everybody else in your market.
Well, and I like to say that values are caught, not taught. And so we can talk about them all we want, but if the owner, if the leader is not setting the example for that, why do we get frustrated when our people don't do it?
It's not fair to, I'm being honest with you.
Yeah. So that idea that we have to set the example for our people, I mean, I think it's foundational to really running the type of organization that we all want. We all want our people to be empowered, to be equipped, to do those things for us, to help us with our brand. And to your point, when you're new in a market, you can't just go out there and say, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me. We've got to see that you're invested in the community. I want to work with contractors that I see in my local community, not ones that I got a call from, the closest big city that I've never heard of before because there's no one local. Like, that's just me. And I think a lot of people are like that.
Yep.
So when you're an emerging brand, and I'm sure a lot of people listening right now are thinking, I just want to grow. I need to increase my market share. I need more people. I know there's opportunity out there. I mean, you're dealing with all those problems. You're just dealing with it at a greater level than I think most people are, because you are looking at these new brands and you're looking at how do we get market penetration? How do we get out there? What is one thing that people listening right now could just start doing? Like some activity, some action, some leadership principle, something they could start doing to just make this feel a little bit easier, maybe take a little bit of the pressure off.
That's a tough one because there are so many.
I just want you to pick one. Like you were talking about the athletes thing earlier.
Yeah.
I know how to run a 4-minute mile.
There you go.
I know what I got to do to run a 4-minute mile. I just got to run 15 miles an hour. Well, I'm not capable of doing that. So if I want to do that, I probably should run more. Like, that's it. If I just ran more, I'm on the path, right, to a 4-minute mile. It's not like this stuff is complex. Like it's really simple, but it's not easy.
Yes.
So pick one that is maybe a little bit on the easier side so that we actually get it done.
Easy. I can handle that. So when you're an emerging brand or a startup business in any capacity, you have cash flow pressure. You have marketing complexity. You probably have a little bit of operational inconsistency. And those three things can all be impacted with brand awareness. So get out in the community.
Okay, you got to unpack that for me.
You get out in the community, right? If you get out in the community, you're going to get more organic search traffic. If you are out there and you have a presence, if you are out there, and when brand awareness, let me break this down very specifically. Brand awareness, the easiest secret to it is be where the community already is. You do not need to recreate the wheel, right?
Okay.
So the big community events, you need to be there. Bring your people there. I had a guy that I used to work with who would encourage his guys. He would bring t-shirts, branded t-shirts to any event that they did in the community. And for every family, every one of his employees that brought their family to the event, he'd put them in t-shirts and he'd give them $20 for coming out and wearing the brand around the event. That $20, yeah, you get an elephant ear, you play a couple of games, let the kids ride the rides. That's petty cash for the business owner. But now it looks like he's got this really strong presence at the event in the community. So really easy grassroots marketing guerrilla tactic right there. Be where the community already is. And so that helps because as a new brand and an emerging brand, there's low trust. You have low search volume. You have low referrals, low review count. So when somebody comes and looks for that service, you're going to get overlooked compared to the guy with 2,000 reviews down the street. You won't get overlooked if you have that actual connection to the community in some capacity. And then when you have that little bit of that velocity, you're gaining some traction, you're building some velocity there. That helps with your cash flow pressure. That helps with your marketing complexity because that brand awareness is going to bring you more organic traffic, which is going to bring your cost per lead down. Everybody's happy there. And then your operational inconsistencies, they usually exist for early startup businesses because they don't have enough repetitions, especially if you've got new techs, right? So
I think about that all the time, and even the work we do.
Yeah.
We roll out something new, and companies that they're not as excited about the new thing. And I was like, well, because we're a little sloppy because we haven't had enough at bats yet.
Yep.
Like we need to get up there and get some reps in. Totally,
Exactly
I love that idea of that grassroots. Just get involved in the community. And what you said, I probably got a whole bunch of shirts sitting in the back, and I'm thinking, who do I give these to? Right? Like I already have that problem, and $20 here, $20 there for bringing the family in. I think beyond the part that you're talking about, which helps them get the opportunities to increase operational efficiency, everything else. How cool is it when that person goes, dude, you're not gonna believe what my boss just did.
Yep, that's exactly right.
He took me to the county fair, gave me $20 because I wore his shirt.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden recruiting becomes a little bit easier too, doesn't it?
That's exactly right. It kind of also ties into stakeholder mentality.
Yeah.
Being a steward and caring about every stakeholder in your organization. It is not just about the customers. It is not just about your employees. It is not just about the community. It is about everybody, your vendors, your family, their families, everybody in that ecosystem that your business touches directly or indirectly. And so to your point right there, helping with the culture, you've got a family now, a guy who came in, you gave him $20 so that their kid could get fun. Again, elephant ears. I love funnel cakes. You know what I mean? Elephant ears. That's what my kids, we always go to. And it really just ties it in. You're showing them, you're getting to meet their family, right? Learning their kids' names, learning their wife's name. And that really you start creating that family and that culture really intentionally right out of the gate. I think it's a great tactic.
Oh, I love that. I share a similar story, not as easy as this one. Like, I love how easy that one is. We had a refrigeration contractor that the owner was very involved with Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah.
And he used to have guys like, hey, I will pay you for volunteer hours for X amount for the year, whatever that looked like. And then he would tell his guys, you're taking the company truck. You're wearing your uniform, like you're doing this stuff. It's that brand awareness. It's that's the simple, easy part. Yep. So what I want you to hear in the brilliance of what Andrew just shared is it doesn't have to be the local fair. It doesn't have to be Habitat. It doesn't have to be any of that. I mean, they can go to Home Depot on the weekends,
They can.
And just say, hey, here's a couple of t-shirts. Go wear them. Have fun. My kids, we were up in Indianapolis and we saw a client up there and they wore these t-shirts from this company for just months after seeing them. It was the coolest thing. My kids loved it. They're like, this is such a soft, cool t-shirt. It's got a fun mascot on it.
Which that's actually a really important call out. If you are going the t-shirt route, buy quality t-shirts that people actually want to wear because they will. If you buy the really kind of scratchy cotton, it's just it's not going to see the light of day.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I was on a podcast a long time ago, and the guy's like, "Hey, I want to get you a hoodie." And I'm thinking, "Oh, it's going to be the cheap, I'm never going to want to wear it." And his logo's the size of my chest. It's like a Superman logo on it. It is a Carhartt serious keep you warm hoodie.
There you go.
I wear that thing all the time.
There you go.
All the time. So totally. I love how simple and easy that was. And this is so great. So as we start thinking about these franchise operators, these entrepreneurs, whether they grew up in a completely different industry and they have no clue what, how this all works and how it all comes together, or they grew up as a technician in the trades. At the end of the day, they are running these companies.
Yep.
They are the leaders. They have to set the example. And it's okay to think outside the box and have some fun with it. I mean, you seem like a very fun guy. I imagine when these franchise owners are working with you, they're like, "Andrew, can we just tone down the fun a little bit? I got to get some work done." You're like, no. I'm going to show you how to have fun and get the work done." It's so cool.
That's the goal. It really is. A little bit of energy.
So one of the things I see so we're talking very tactical, very right now today. One of the things I see a lot of business owners really struggle with is the planning side of things.
Yeah.
And I imagine you're in charge of emerging brands. Like, you have to have a plan. You're not just like, "Hey, who can we go have fun with today?" It's like, no, here's where we're going.
Correct.
Talk to me a little bit about that. How's that work in your world? And what's one easy thing that someone can do to start thinking longer term about their business?
All right. So business planning is not something you do once a year, much like training. You don't just do it that first week. You need to be revisiting that. So it's something that I think every business owner should be looking at on a monthly basis. As soon as your financials are finalized, you need to be diving into them and identifying where your inefficiencies are, where you're crushing it, and then share that with your team. That is the biggest eye opener, is when you actually empower your team like with a KPI that they are directly responsible with. It is shocking the change that they can have on your business overall, their buy-in, their ownership of it, and then the results that they're able to create, the ideas they're able to come up with, because they have a full understanding. All right, man, we were 40% labor last month and we need to be down to 32. Right. All right. Well, here are some, "Hey boss, well, actually we did this extra run last week. Maybe we can cut that out." You just give them that tool, bring them in on those conversations, and you will be absolutely just floored with the complete and utter change in your business. So if you're looking for one quick one, I'm going to give you the two. Look at your financials every month, please, for the love of goodness. And then number two, do something with it, and do something by incorporating your team and empowering them to again contribute to that bottom line.
Yeah, and I'm just going to clarify one thing, because I learned this the hard way when I was first starting out, is looking at improperly put together financials every month actually can be way worse than not looking at them at all. So if you're going to look at your financials every month, make sure they're good, make sure they're accurate. Otherwise, it's horrible. Right? It's not going to work. It's like showing up with power tools and leaving all your batteries at home. Like, that's not going to work for you. Got to make sure that they're solid.
Yes.
I love that. And bringing your people in. How simple.
It's simple. It really is. But for real though, thank you for making that clarifying point. Garbage in is garbage out. Like you have to make sure your financials are buttoned up. Otherwise, what are you looking at? Right? It's like watching game film for a team you're actually not playing. "Oh, I'm prepared to play them." Like, sweet. That's not who you're playing, dude. Like,
different division. Sorry.
It's a complete waste of your time. So yes, garbage in, garbage out. Make sure your financials look good. And then yes, share them with your people.
Oh my gosh. We could probably keep going with all of these cool little tactics, little ideas. Andrew, this has been awesome. How do people learn more about you? How do they see what you guys are up to? How do they get connected with you?
Oh man. So you can find me on LinkedIn, Andrew Olesnavich, VP of Emerging Brands at Premium Service Brands. Would love to talk to you honestly about anything franchising. Whenever I do discovery calls, I always give them my cell phone. It's a journey, if we aren't the right fit. Emerging brands require a specific type of entrepreneur. Somebody who's interested in really influencing the brand and making an impact. Somebody who's not looking to really just fall in line. Somebody that, again, really kind of wants to try new things and is really motivated and gritty to get their hands dirty. So knowing that, whenever I get on a discovery call, I always share, let me know. I've been in franchising for 15 years. If you have any questions in your journey along the way, please do not hesitate to reach out. So same thing goes for anybody out there. Don't hesitate to reach out. Hit me up on LinkedIn. Would love to discuss your journey, your business, what you're up to, and just grow the network.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Andrew. This has been awesome. I got some notes here. I love your philosophy on the importance of values, but every example you gave was, don't be the only one doing it. Like, if I were to sum up this whole thing, is get your team involved.
Yes.
Every example you gave had get your team involved. I love it. Thank you so much, Andrew. This has been amazing.
You're very welcome, Ryan. Thank you again. Appreciate it.
Ryan Englin here. Thank you so much for listening to Titans of the Trades. If you're a titan in the construction, manufacturing, or skilled trades industry and would like to be a guest on my show, please visit podcast.corematters.com. If you found value in this interview, would you share this episode on social media? Just do a quick screenshot on your phone and share it with a friend or post it on social. And if you know someone that would be a great guest, tag them on social media to let them know about the show and include the hashtag Titans of the Trades. I love seeing your posts and guest suggestions. We are regularly putting out new episodes and content. To make sure you don't miss any episodes, click the subscribe button. Your thumbs up, ratings, and reviews go a long way to help promote the show and get me one step closer to solving the labor crisis facing the industry. Want to know more about how we're doing that? Go to our website or follow me on LinkedIn. Thanks for listening.